So the league is set. In the East, in the West, we have these teams set. Let's talk about it. So first, in the West, the play-in is set. The Warriors are in, the Rockets are out successfully. They've clinched. That means the Warriors are going to be in the play-in tournament. Who's going to be there with them? We have no idea. But they have successfully beat out the Rockets, which is pretty funny considering that Tari Eason posted a story, basically saying Warriors, basically telling them that they were going to knock them out of the play-in, but that didn't end up happening, and actually they're now looking good and looking in pace to be a play-in team and win probably a play-in game. The Warriors have been very good. I'm not here to speak about the Warriors, but they have a pretty easy schedule in the next few days. The only significant team I think is the Lakers, and they've managed to make that much needed push at the end of the season to really give themselves the chance to get into the playoff picture that they want to be in. We see that the Kings still look bad. I don't understand why they're losing so much, and it's honestly pretty strange from a team which last year won 50 games to this year, even though, yes, they're probably going to win around 45, 46, but it's not the same feeling in Kings land last year than this year, especially with the way that the West is shaped. The Nuggets, the Timberwolves, and the Thunder are three teams which are battling for the top. And let's say it, Nikola Jokic won MVP. As much as I battled for Shea, as much as I think Luka also deserves it, and do think that if he climbs into the fourth seed, he should get it. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what's real. And what's real is that the Nuggets are first. They just overtook first. If all they have to do is probably win 2 games and they're still first. And they're not giving it to Shea. They are not. They're not giving it to Tatum, which is his team has a 62-win season, an almost 80% win percentage, and they're not giving it to him. The Bucks, Giannis is not probably never getting it again unless he wins a championship or something. And I think that the MVP is flawed, but I'm gonna serve my, I'm gonna reserve my opinions. I think that there's a clear bias. The Lakers actually look in position to take the 6th seed if they continue playing the way that they are. The Suns are not doing great in terms of the fact that they have to defend the 6th seed, which is a very wanted seed, as not going through the play-in means extra rest. And even though you do have to face the 1st seed, it's like the play-in is so competitive this season, having the Kings, the Warriors, the Pelicans, and the Lakers, that it's like I would prefer to have to face the Nuggets in the first round than having to face probably one or two of those teams in the play-in and maybe get the Timberwolves, probably. Wait, no, they wouldn't face the Nuggets. They would probably face the Thunder. So, in my opinion, the Lakers should go for it. I think that they could actually beat the Thunder. Apart from the fact that they've won the season series, which means that they've won most of the games that they have together. I also believe that the Lakers are much more equipped in terms of veteran talent and position to have a clear shot at winning that series than the Thunder. I feel like the Thunder are young. They have this very dynamic pace, but in the playoffs, and I'm sorry to say this, but when the game slows down and push comes to shove, that's just what it is. Then we have the Pelicans over the Lakers. The Pelicans have been great. They've been really good throughout most of the season. And in these last few weeks, they just tanked. It's like they had to defend their position at the top of, the play-in group. And the play-in group for me this season is the 6th seed to the 10th seed. And I know that sounds crazy, where it's like, why is the 6th seed included in the play-in group? But with the amount of variations that we have to that 6th seed, the Suns being there right now doesn't convince me that the Pelicans can't win tomorrow and then take it, or that the Kings can't go and just miraculously go on a win streak and take it, or that even the Warriors could win. I don't know, they could win 5 games straight and have 47 wins. Even though I do doubt that they do that, I also do think that they have a serious advantage in terms of their position because they have no pressure as now Houston is out. And they could just chill and face the Kings, then face another person in the play-in, and that person gets the playoff, nod. Or, well, you get 2 playoff nods. You would probably have to face the Kings and the Pelicans or the Lakers afterwards, which for the Warriors, unless they get the Lakers, which the Lakers have beaten them quite a few times now, I do think that they could win against the Pelicans and Kings. The Suns, as I was saying, are in that tough position. I wouldn't want to be with them right now. But what they have to do, put their head down and just play. Keep it pushing. You can't do anything about your seeding apart from win the games. And especially with that schedule that you have, you're going to have to be tough. The Pelicans beat them yesterday, but the Clippers are their next 2 matchups, and then they have the Kings and the Timberwolves, which is a pretty tough opponents to have, especially considering the fact that you need to win some games. The Mavericks are doing great. I don't need to say anything about them. Luka is going crazy. They're winning every game. Today, Kyrie dropped 48 against the Houston Rockets, and it's like, with the Mavericks, it's like, even though I do not think that they're going to win the championship, it's like everything is just, all the pieces are coming together just at the right time to make just the right push to make sure that they're in the playoffs. And it's kind of beautiful basketball just to be able to see that. The Clippers, they've actually done it. I said in the other video that if they did not, basically get their stuff straight, I was going to say, get their shit straight. I'm sorry for the bad word, but if they don't get their shit straight, then they were gonna, be out of the playoff picture, or they were gonna be fighting for that 6th seed. They've won 3 straight games. They've been great, and now they get to face the Suns twice, which I don't think it's a matchup which they really care about, because even if they lose both games, the Suns are not overtaking them at all. And I don't even think that's an option. And really, the Clippers are basically their next 2 games away from just securing their playoff picture. And their next 2 games are the Suns again, the Jazz, and then the Rockets. So it's like you have 2 very easy teams to beat. And I think all they have to do is win 1 or 2 games, and they'll already clinch their playoff seeding. And I mean, by playoff, I mean top 6. The Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Nuggets are the 3 teams which are the happiest. The Nuggets don't have to care about the seed. Your best player is going to get that MVP. They're not giving it to Anthony Edwards. The Thunder are the only one that it would be kind of nice for them to get it, because it's like, oh, you're such a young team. If you just put everything together for a season, look what you can accomplish. But I don't think the Thunder are doing anything in these playoffs. They're not mentally ready. Shea's the only one that seems to have that dog in him, but even him having a lack of playoff experience actually is something that I do think is going to take into I think it's going to affect them as a team. Not be ever having made the playoffs and not having a clear veteran is something that affects a lot of teams. So the Thunder just have to keep it pushing and make sure that this season was not a fluke and that they can continue building on this. The Timberwolves and the Nuggets are actually going to compete this year. I don't know how far the Timberwolves will get, because there's obviously so much, mysteriousness behind them, where it's like, are they going to win? Are they going to do it? Can they do it? Is Anthony Edwards enough? But we'll see. They finally got themselves that comfortable playoff seed that they've been wanting for the past 7 years. And now they actually, not being in the play-in, they get to actually execute and do something. And finally, the top dogs, the Nuggets, they're cool. They know what to do. As long as Jamal Murray comes back and his injury is rehabbed correctly, they don't care. You have Jokic, you already won a championship, and all you need to do is just not be trash and you could actually win another championship. You know, your team plays well. You have your best player be very clutch and very good, and your coach and your system works. So for this season, the Nuggets are chill.